Gotham episode 7, Penguin's Umbrella. Another great episode for the Penguin, and it led to a really great reveal towards the end of the episode. He was just constantly playing the smart character that he is, especially in this one when he killed Carbone and he just turned his men against him, which was really easy because everyone just kind of wants more money. But I love the way that he played Maroni, and we find out in the end it's not just so that he can take over, which I have to assume is still his main plan, even though he's working with Falcone in this episode, and we find out he's been working with him the entire time. With Penguin being the big villain that he is in the Batman series, I feel like we're still going to get to see him try to take over for Falcone, at least at some point. Maybe not this season, it might not even be in season 2, but he'll try to take over because that's what he wants to do, and that's kind of what he ends up doing in the Batman series. So I'm excited to see them continue this sort of tradition of him rising to power, even though we know the way that he's playing it now. It's not just him going it alone. He's working with Falcone, and Falcone really trusts him. He's a snitch now on the inside, and he's like a triple crosser now. I guess it's crazy, but he worked against Mooney and he got busted. And now he's working for Falcone against Maroni, and he's acting like he's working against Falcone. So it's really cool how he's playing that role, and the way he played Maroni in this episode, saying like, if you want to play it this way, then by all means. I mean, Falcone is number one anyway, and it's just a good way to play him. And he knew he was getting caught by Carbone, so he bought his men out earlier. So it was really cool to see that play out. The entire stuff with him just coming back and everyone finding out was, of course, the main point of the episode, and it led to all the craziness, which caused Jim to get shot twice, get threatened several times throughout this episode. But it made for some really great scenes. We got to see Victor Zsasz, who is really great in this episode, and his introduction was really cool. The way he just intimidated all the cops, it was just really cool. And everyone's either crooked or really scared, and the one person that wasn't ended up getting shot, which is the random cop that came at the end like, hey, what the heck are you doing? And then she gets killed off, and Jim is able to escape. But I love the episode for everything they did. We didn't really see anything outside of just the main point, which was Jim surviving somehow and Penguin also surviving somehow, which I really enjoyed. And their stories really parallel each other, and one ends up saving the other, and then it sort of just goes full circle, especially in this episode where Penguin has Falcone spare both Jim and Bullock. So I really enjoyed that. I thought for sure at the end of this episode, before Penguin actually came up, I thought that Falcone was actually going to die because he ate one of those muffins, and I thought they were poisoned. I thought he was going to drop dead in the end of this episode, and then things would just go nuts. And then, of course, I thought Penguin was just going to shoot him, but I enjoy this ending because it doesn't kill off anyone so soon. So I actually enjoy that a little bit more. It would have been a bit of a shock if he did just die because of that muffin. But it would have made perfect sense if things were just going crazy, especially with the way Mooney was suspecting that Falcone knew something in this episode, because he was so calm about Cobblepot being alive in this episode, and Mooney was freaking out like, why doesn't he want to just go crazy and kill everybody? So I really enjoyed that, and I thought for sure that that's what would have happened. She would have told her weapon, take this guy down because something's off right now. So I enjoyed that. He even took the crappy land from Maroni, which initially I honestly just thought it's on Arkham, so that's kind of the big play that they're going for right now. So it made perfect sense, and that still could be why, aside from the fact that he's working with Cobblepot, it just still works. And that's probably why Penguin actually even mentioned it, because he knows that Maroni and Falcone are going for Arkham, and that was the big deal, is that Falcone didn't get 100% of that land, and so it's kind of split between their two mobs. So it was really cool just to get that little bit. It'll probably come back into play much later in the series, but it was just a little thing, like he got an extra piece of the Arkham land. So I thought that was kind of a cool play where he was keeping things calm, and it's like, okay, I couldn't get this really big thing, and then Penguin kind of helped him out. And it's like, it's a chemical waste plant, or just a chemical dump, but it is on Arkham, which is what they've been fighting for the entire series, and they both have their bits of land, and now Falcone has a little bit more. So I enjoyed that. Everything they did with Jim was pretty cool. Him and Bullock I thought were really good in this episode. Bullock was sort of losing it in the beginning because he was freaking out like, I gotta kill Jim or I'm gonna get killed off, and he would have been if it was up to Fish. And then by the end of the episode, he's just had his drinks, and he's like, all right, we're just gonna go out in a blaze of glory. I better be one of the good guys by the end. So I love that, and he was just really funny in this episode, just like he is in other ones. But it was a little bit different because we actually got to see him drunk because he was kind of freaking out that the mob was just gonna come after him and take him out, even though technically he was going along with all of their plans. He didn't even know that Cobblepot was alive, but he instantly became a loose end once that was revealed. So I enjoyed how he kind of freaked out and then transitioned from just being super mad and scared to he's just drunk and it's like, might as well just shoot up the bad guys and try to arrest them. But overall, I really loved this episode. I don't think there was any point that it really sucked. Like everything I thought was pretty good. Daz was great. He had a great introduction. We even got to see him actually do the little cuts on his arm when he killed the cop. So it was cool that they actually showed that part in the episode because that's one of the big things is that he marks himself with each kill. So I enjoyed that. The entire story we got to see pretty much every character. I think the only one that was left out was honestly Selena, and that kind of makes sense. She would honestly just be walking around, and it's like why would she be a part of the main story? But it was cool. We got to see Bruce, we got to see Alfred, and I loved him. The little scene he had when he was actually holding the cop up, he actually got a one up on that guy before heading back to the car and realizing that it actually was Jim. So that was pretty cool. I like Bruce in this episode. He was telling him, don't treat me like a kid. He knows the concept of death, so he's able to talk to him even though he's still a little kid, as Jim said. He was able to tell him, like, I know what the heck's happening. If you're this scared as a cop, you're probably scared of the mob or you're probably scared of dying. So I enjoyed that little scene as well. But overall, I thought it was a great episode. It's a great reveal at the end, so it kind of explains some of the stuff with Maroni possibly thinking that, with people, viewers, I mean, possibly thinking that he was kind of being stupid and wasn't paying enough attention. And there were moments where it seemed like he knew, but at the same time he didn't. And we found out in this episode he was kind of doing that not to play his hand too much and say, I already know 100%, because that would push Fish to do something a bit more drastic than try to slowly manipulate him and take over for herself. So it was really cool to get that, and it makes me think about the older episodes where he sort of plays his hand and you can tell that he knows something, but at the same time he reins himself back because he doesn't want to play this really secret, big hand that he has, which is, I know you're a traitor and I know Cobblepot's alive. So I really loved the episode. Great reveal at the end. I'm excited to see them expand on that much, much more. And I don't know how things are going to go with Jim and the rest of the cops because everyone was kind of freaked out that he even came back. So I want to see his reaction, or I guess his interaction with the rest of the cops once he gets back to the GCPD in the next episode. But I love this one. It's my favorite so far, without a doubt. The big reveal is just all the craziness going on. It was all really great to me. So, of course, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about this one. Your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And did you suspect that Falcone was actually working with the Penguin, or was that a big shock to you too? And now that it has been revealed, where do you want to see this storyline go now that they're on the same sides but working on opposite sides? How do you guys want to see that storyline play out with them both knowing everything about Fish and both working together to take down Maroni at the same time? How do you guys want to see that play out? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.